I'm telling you.
I cannot, ma'am. In honor of the Constitution of the United States, I cannot allow a man who carries British recognition for the purposes of British ministerial law to continue to persecute me.
But let's get into this Ernie Wayne saga.
The defendant, Ernie Wayne Tertelgte, he is not represented by counsel here today. Mr. Tertelgte has been charged with 2 misdemeanor offenses, which we'll be trying today.
I must object. I am not the name that he is referring to. I am the living man. The name that Mr. Riley refers to, ma'am, is held by the state in all capital letters and is identified by the state on the state's driver's license, ma'am. I am not.
So what he's referring to is how on your driver's license, your name is written in all caps, and these sovereign citizens basically don't believe that the laws of this government apply to them, and that the name that they were given at birth is a government name that they didn't consent to. Therefore, if that person's being charged with a crime or whatever, they are not liable for it because they didn't agree to that government name. They also believe that U.S. laws as of current are bogus and don't apply to anybody, and that they don't need a driver's license to drive. That's usually how they end up getting caught and thrown in jail, is they're usually pulled over and they have no registration, no driver's license, and they hand over these weird documents that basically explain why they don't need a driver's license to drive, because they have the right to travel. And it does say that in the Constitution, but it does not specify what travel is. Anyways, these are sovereign citizens, and this guy's an absolute cartoon character. It's so funny. He's as you can see, he already said, I am the living, breathing man. Like, we're not all just... none of the rest of us are that. It's just him, I guess. But he says he's not the man that the government gave... that the government name on his ID says he is, essentially. And they all do this. They play this same clownery every single time. But this guy's probably the smartest of all of them. Which is going to seem crazy in a minute.
The all capital fiction. I am the living man whose mark is that of life. It is called a signature, and the nature of that sigil, ma'am, is the living person. It is never in all capital letters.
Mr. Tertelgte, you will allow Mr. Riley to continue
Ma'am,
with there, and you will have
I must object, ma'am. Without
Objection.
proper evidence.
They always do this. I don't know what it is. They just object in the middle. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. They object in the middle of the judge talking. They just interrupt the judge. They have no idea how the court system works whatsoever. So they'll just be objection and out of nowhere.
Evidence of oath and bond as required, and I am backed, ma'am, by 20 United States Supreme Court cases to this end. It should have been brought to my hand more than a month ago, and no evidence has been brought forward of any competency of any of this. I have to speak for myself, ma'am. No one here is capable of doing it, and particularly those that are bar or non-bar. They can only speak, ma'am, to the legal. My interest is to forfend my person's living name.
Your Honor, this is an improper objection and violation of the motion.
This guy's voice makes him seem like an absolute cartoon character. It's so funny. And why, like, half of them have this feather on their hat for some reason? I don't know what this is. If it's supposed to signify something.
And the objection is, Mr. Tertelgte, you are not to interrupt Mr. Riley again.
Ma'am?
He has his 30 minutes. Then you will have an
Who can tell the living man
Mr. Tertelgte,
in a commercial event such as this,
sir,
who has the right to tell the living man when he can speak and when he cannot speak, what sounds he can make and what sounds he cannot make?
Bulletproof. Can't argue with him there.
you understand?
He is addressing British law, ma'am. He is a minister on behalf of Great Britain.
I'm going to hold you in contempt.
He is a minister on behalf of Great Britain. I've said that as a joke before. Great Britain. I didn't realize it was something people actually said. That's really interesting.
If you continue to disrupt this.
Ma'am, without oath and bond, contempt has already been established here.
30 days in jail, or you will be removed.
In the
from the
face of all these witnesses, ma'am, where is the evidence of oath and bond, ma'am?
Cannot talk.
Look,
Ma'am, you don't have authority here. The living man has authority here. We're here so I can ask you questions. You don't interrupt me. You don't tell me when I talk. You provide the evidence. It's all on you.
Now, do you continue to disrupt?
the requirement is right here, ma'am.
Okay.
It is through all ranks of the court, ma'am. I have done due diligence and due process, ma'am. Eye to eye, I faced those who would come against me. I communicated properly. I backed up my work. I backed up the research. It's nice and neat. And I have total failure. I have total incompetency of...
To this judge's defense for letting this go on, I would also have such a hard time arresting this man. Honestly. Like, wouldn't you have a really hard time, like, holding this man in contempt and arresting him? It's just way too entertaining. I wouldn't want it to end. Would any of you guys want it to end? I doubt it.
the court, because there is no evidence of Mr. Riley's office, nor of yours, ma'am, nor of this lady's here, nor even the fine police officers that are here today. I have nothing to work with now. Now I'm out here hanging over the abyss. I must make my own way.
And you will be allowed that, but allow Mr. Riley.
Why, please give me an honorable answer, is a British recognized esquire asking questions in an American courtroom? Why is title of nobility applied behind this gentleman's name that is recognized as being banned from our country in the 1789 Constitution? Is nobody going to stand for our Constitution?
Allow this.
How is this judge supposed to know whether or not this is real? I would be dumbfounded right now if I were this judge. I wouldn't want to arrest the guy because he seemed like he really cares about American law and the Constitution and all that. And what he's saying sounds like it makes a ton of sense. And I swear he's really smart. He's not as dumb as you'd think he is. He almost had me convinced at one point. The rest of the sovereign citizens, we'll go into that. They're about as dumb as it gets. This guy's like the king of the sovereign citizens. And for a brief moment in a certain video, he almost had me there. But if I'm the judge in this situation, I don't know what to do. I'm watching this like it's a TV show, even if I'm the judge.
I cannot, ma'am, in honor of the Constitution of the United States, I cannot allow a man who carries British recognition for the purposes of British ministerial law to continue to persecute me. I cannot, ma'am. I have to honor the founders, ma'am. I honor the memory of those who fought and died that we could be free of this very type of thing.
You'll be taken up to a jury room where you may watch the proceedings.
Stand up.
I have reminded you.
If I stand up, I give you recognition.
Oh, please stand up. Stand up.
So here's another thing that these sovereign citizens believe is if they listen to anything in the court, that means they've given open consent. That they don't believe that the United States government has jurisdiction over them because they believe the United States government, without their asking, gave away their rights at a certain point. So what he's saying here when he says, what was it that he said here? Let me get these exact words.
If I give you recognition.
Oh.
If I stand up, I give you recognition. What he means by that is if I stand up, I am willingly recognizing that you have jurisdiction over me. And he's not recognizing it. And I had a chat with my buddy Matt about this earlier. And I want one of these judges to look at one of these sovereign citizen guys and go, well, you don't think I have jurisdiction. Do you have guys with guns? because I have guys with guns. They're about to flex their jurisdiction here. It's so funny.
Please stand up.
All right.
Stand up.
No,
Stand up.
pick me up. I cannot give you recognition. I'm constrained by the United States Constitution of 1789.
Yeah, 1789. Seems like he stepped through a time portal straight from 1789. He missed the entirety of the rest of American history and human history, apparently.
Sir, you're a Bozeman native. What are you doing back in a British recognition? Should be ashamed of yourself. Gentlemen, this is an overthrow of the 1789 Constitution, an overthrow of the Bill of Rights. It is an overthrow of Title 26 United States Code, and above all, it is an overthrow of universal law.
Where does he think he is? To be fair, he got his message across. A lot of people saw this. This is who they call Montana's natural man, because he considers himself not the man that was claimed by the U.S. government with his name on his ID that's in all caps, as they say, as these sovereign citizens often say. If you ever hear someone in like a dash cam footage or court case or anything like that use the phrase, "I wasn't driving, I was traveling," or "I am not the person with the in the all caps name." I know these are really fucking bizarre things to hear someone say, especially in court, but they are from a group that is called the Sovereign Citizens, who believe that because of a past U.S. document, long story short, U.S. laws do not govern them, and that they have the right to travel without a driver's license and all sorts of things. U.S. laws don't apply to them. But where does this guy think he is right now? Look, he's so proud of himself.
Would one of you remove my ball
Whoa.
and return it to somebody in the crowd?
Someone, sorry, I don't know what happened. Someone like kicked the microphone or something there. It wasn't my mic.
Please, so that it doesn't disappear from this place.
We'll take care of that in a moment. Okay?
See to it my stuff makes it back in my bag. I do have a duly appointed court representative, ma'am. He has made his way through everything.
Okay.
He will speak as my voice.
There's more.